Very good morning, Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. I hope you had a very good evening yesterday. Let us continue from where we stopped. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Sarasvataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Sai Satcharita, the life and teachings of Shirdi, Sai Baba. We began yesterday chapter 48, the bestowal of grace upon a devotee. My obeisance to Shri Ganesh, to Shri Saraswati and Shri Guru Maharaj, to the family deity, to Shri Sita Ramachandran. My most humble obeisance, I bow in reverence to the most venerable Guru, Shri Sai Nath. We stopped at verse 29. We'll continue from where we stopped, that is verse 30 onwards. But love does not arise without faith. And know that where there is faith, there is God. From faith is born absolute, profound love. Ultimately, to cross the ocean of worldly life safely, faith alone is the means. Yesterday, Baba was teaching us about how you need to have loving faith unto the lotus feet of your Guru and Lord Shri Krishna alone. Now, in that he's explaining, no matter what you do, if you don't have faith and love, there is no way you can get redemption or redeem yourself from all the karmic bondage that you have born with. The only way to redeem your karma is through loving devotion unto the lotus feet of your Guru and following his words to the T and obeying his command and exactly doing that which he asks you to do. His instructions should be followed to the T. You have to become the clay in his hands so that he can mold you the way in which he wants you to be. So this is extremely important, and we also did a beautiful story about Veerabhadrappa and Channabasappa and what happens to them and how the karmic bondage continues life after life. So Baba says the only way to get out of this is through Guru Seva. There is no other way. Love and devotion is the only path. Great is this sweetness of Sai Satcharita, which is as pure as the Ganges water. Sai has himself adorned its verse. Hemad is but his instrument. Listening to Sai Satcharita, listeners and the speaker are both purified forever, and sins and merits are all washed away, as they are both liberated once for all. Absolutely. See, just listening and narrating, both the speaker and the listener, both will get purified. And when we listen to the most profound leelas of Sai Baba and even just take 0.00001% of that lessons and live in our life, that is good enough for us to cross the ocean of this worldly life, the samsara. Extraordinarily fortunate are the ears that listen to this story. Most remarkable is the tongue that narrates. Blessed is the Shri Sai Stotra, which is so very sacred to his devotees. Absolutely. See, we actually did a very beautiful lesson, I'm sure you must remember, about how do you use all the senses, this body, everything, to only take the name of the divine, to serve him, to praise him, to sing his glories, to worship him, to be devoted to him. That is all you have to use your sense organs, but not for it to run for the sensual pleasures which this worldly life entices. It's not for running for lust and greed. It is not for going and getting carried away and entangling into the material worldly existence. Please understand, this world is Maya. It's very glamorous. It's very enticing. It keeps attracting you and it will draw you towards itself. But the only way to, overcoming or getting out of the clutches of Maya is through Guru Seva. And when all your senses are only used in the Guru Bhakti, in devotion to him, where you speak the most beautiful, sweet words, the praises of the Lord, you sing bhajans, then you listen to this beautiful narration. You're listening, and then that is what the sense is given. Why have you given the ear? Is so that you can hear, you can listen to the most beautiful truth about God. And then you smell, when you light the fragrance, the incense stick, it's a beautiful offering to the Lord, and then bringing those beautiful flowers and adorning him. And what else? Using your hands, you're decorating him. So everything should be used for that purpose alone, but not for enjoying sensual pleasures. The moment you're focused on enjoying sensual pleasures, then you don't stand a chance in the spiritual world, and you will get lost in the material worldly existence. Those who listen to this story with a pure mind and good thoughts will have all their wishes fulfilled, and their life will always be fruitful. Those who listen to this Satcharit respectfully and with great faith will automatically develop devotion to the self without any delay. See, it is very simple. In this, Baba has given such beautiful truth about what spirituality is, how to live a life of righteousness, how to follow one's dharma and swadharma, both. It's very important. And then he's saying, those who listen to the Satcharit respectfully and with great faith will automatically develop devotion to the self, the Parabrahma, without any delay. When Sai is served with faith and devotion and is remembered all the time, the bodily organs do not get out of control, and the ocean of worldly life is quickly and easily crossed. Like water to a chatak bird, this narration of Sai Satcharit is life itself to the devotees. The listeners should contemplate on it after listening and be blessed by God's grace. If the listeners listen to this under all conditions with attention, they will easily cross the ocean of worldly life, as the bonds of their karma will be snapped. Exactly what I already discussed. But now the listeners will say to themselves, when is the story going to begin? So I shall remove their uneasiness by beginning the prelude. In the last chapter, it was narrated that to clear away the sins of enmity, murder and death, one is reborn to work out one's karma. And I think we did discuss, or we understood how it is so important to always harness goodness. You have to cultivate good thoughts, good words, everything good in love. But yes, in the material world, it does become difficult, and that is why my Krishna Guruji will say we have to practice seeing God in everyone. You know why? Because when we look at the human being, we can only look at their fallible human nature. What crass people they are. That is how we can look at them. But when you see God, you're not seeing the body. You're seeing the divinity. And then what happens when you see the divinity in them? The love comes forth. You will feel good about everything, and then you will worship the divine in everything. Then no object will disturb you. No, both inanimate or animate will not disturb you at all. You can see any human being. You will not say, I like this person, I don't like this person, because you understand everybody is human at the end of the day. But what you see in them is the divinity. And that is why it is extremely important to see God in everyone. My Krishna Guruji will always ask me this, can you see God in everybody? Even today, yes, I can see God in some people, but some I don't. I will tell him honestly. He says, no, that can't be the case. You have to be able to see God in everybody. Why can't you see? Because that is the tainting of your mind. Most important, we have to overcome. Please understand. He'll say the spiritual truth is every human being is driven by their inherent nature. They cannot overcome their nature. So they are going to be fallible human beings. He knows that they will fall down. The n number of times, despite telling them, don't do this, don't do this, they will continue to do. And he says, what is your one point, the black mark in me? I get angry. Now, anger is not required, and he says anger is necessary to serve the Lord's purpose. The reason why you have been given this nature is to serve the Lord's purpose, but it is not important to get angry with human beings, because you need to understand they are going to fall down. They are fallible nature. Everybody has an inherent nature, and it is individual. If they are not able to overcome, that is their problem. It is not anybody else's problem. But I need not get disturbed by what somebody does. That is not what I should do. The most important thing is I should just see God in everybody. Then that doesn't disturb me. There is no right, there is no wrong, there is no good, there is no bad. Then I attain equanimity of mind. That is called being in the blissful state where I am peace with myself. The self is what I have to be one with. It is not about getting carried away by what's happening and disturbing my own mental peace. Why should I do that? There's no need. It is not important to, waste your breath on any human being. Please understand. Like my Krishna Guruji said, even this morning, he was saying, you know what? To being spiritual is very difficult. I don't even expect anything from anybody anymore. Because he says, even if you don't get up one day at 4 a.m., which you are being, it is the regime. And if you can't get up even one day at 4 a.m., then there is a huge problem, which means you're not fit to be in spiritual. So what are you calling yourself being in spiritual? How can you just say I had a back pain or I slept off? That is not a reason. There is no excuse. You have to get up every single day at 4 a.m. And that is why if you look at people working in, people in military and army, they are trained. They are trained to be, very, very strong. They're trained in a very ruthless regime they have. There's no mercy there. And that is why they're very, very strong, because they have to fight. They have to fight wars. They're prepared for that. So spirituality is also the same thing. It is about giving that strong attitude to yourself, and to understand that God is everything. So when you have to realize God and understand that you are the divine being, what makes you think you cannot do it? And that is why my Krishna Guruji will always keep saying us, don't give negatives to yourself, that I don't like, I can't do, remove this I don't, I can't. Who is this? All the demon, Shumba Nishumba, who will say, oh, I don't know, I am the, I can't do it. And all those things we give negatives to ourselves. Why should you give negative? You all have to make an effort. You have to always try. You have to do. Doing is a must. This is what my Krishna Guruji will say. The entire Bhagavad Gita talks about one very important and a very simple lesson. Just do it. Lord Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, saying, please lift your bow and arrow and shoot. Why are you bothered what is going to happen, what is not going to happen? How will I fight my relatives? That is none of your business. And in that he reveals a very important secret. And you know what is the secret? He says, Arjuna, please know that the enemies already stand slain by me. I have already killed them. You are only doing your part of the deal. They already stand dead, which means what? Destiny is already predefined. Lord has already predefined the destiny. So why are we thinking I don't want to or I want to? Do I have a choice? No, nobody has a choice. We are all programmed. Our destination is programmed. There is no way, there is no escapism from that. Even if you can say 100 times, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't like this, whether you like it or not, you will still end up doing the same thing. But why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your breath? And in that Lord Shri Krishna says, giving into your self-conceit and deceit, you stand with your egotism, saying that I don't want to do, I don't want to fight. Vain is your resolve. For you will perforce perform the same action as though mounted on a machine, born of your own nature. And that is my Maya will make it happen. You don't even know that you're going to do it. Then when you do in that manner, then you will accrue karma. So why do you need to get to that stage? This is a very simple truth. See, we all know this. We all understand this. But do we ever do we ever apply this lesson in our life? No. Still we'll give in to our ego. No, I don't want to. We want to resist. And this morning, my Krishna Guruji was teaching a very beautiful lesson. And it's about change. How do you inculcate change within us? We always resist change. We don't want to change. Please remember this, this is not just within us. This is the whole world. A human being's nature is to resist change. Why do you need to resist change? Ask yourself this question. When somebody is teaching you for the good, for your future, we all resist change. We throw tantrums, we do too many things in the process. But at the end of the day, the Guru, the great master's job is only one thing. He wants you to evolve. The word is evolve. He will help you grow, not just within yourself, even to the world. How do you stand up in this world? And today he said some very very, very profound truth, which I honestly didn't realize. And I was amazed. Oh yeah, what he says makes a lot of sense. So that is why it is important. And where the place where we are born. That is why they say you carry that, tendencies from the place where you're born, where the people you are around with, how you behave, what you do, everything matters with whom you associate with. So for many years of our life, we live with our parents. When we are born, we are born in a certain set of family, and they have their own nature, tendencies, their habits, everything. So we adapt to that. We are taught that because we believe that is where we belong to. So the basic, the foundation of the culture has to begin from your house. Now, if you need to get the good culture over there, the etiquettes, the way of life, all these needs to be taught to you. And if you need to be given that teaching, that education, then what has to be, that family also needs to have gotten the same level of knowledge. And if they don't have, then how are you going to impart to their children? This is a very, 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 a thought-provoking question which my Guruji asked. And that is why today, if you look at a lot of things, are not in the way it is, because some children behave in a certain manner. I mean, even adults, for that matter, because of their own nature, where they come from. So this is the truth. And not just that, the education system also plays an integral role in an individual, how they get molded in their life. The foundation of education system has to be extremely strong, which means you have to teach the children the values, the moral, the cultural, the tradition, everything has to be taught. And also, most important, it's not about just reading the knowledge, the bookish knowledge. It is about making them educated. What does educated mean? Educated means they need to have an understanding about everything in the world that is there. And today my Guruji will ask a simple question. Yesterday he asked the most simplest question. He asked us, do you know what is the capital of Mongolia? I'm like, no, I don't remember. I don't know. And then I'm like, really, I don't know. I have to Google it. It is shameful. Can you believe we don't know the simple things in life? Why? Because we didn't make an effort to study. And this is a very important thing. We did practice, we were not trained. But my Krishna Guruji also says another very important thing. He says, it doesn't mean that somebody has to teach you this. You should practice it on your own. So why were you not curious about wanting to learn? So that's another important thing. And that is why if you see in some of these great families, that is why when you're born in certain set of families, they give emphasis lot on, educating the children in a way where they are well-rounded with all the knowledge and they're prepared to face this world. But today, nobody is that. And today, my Krishna Guruji does this to all of us. But the unfortunate part is we all resist change. We don't want to change. He gives knowledge. He continuously keeps telling us. He drives us up the wall saying, go study, go study, go study. There is no age to study, let me tell you. There is no age to learning. You learn till this body exists, till you die. You learn to eternity. Knowledge is something you have to keep acquiring. And sometimes I keep telling him, wish I had met you, very early in life. I wanted this. This is what I wanted. A teacher who could teach me like this. Someone who can handhold me and show me the way. But today I feel there has been times when I have myself said, oh, I've gone past that stage in my life. He says, what do you mean gone past the stage? There is no gone past the stage. You can learn at whatever age you want. So why are you thinking that today you can't learn or you can't do something? So he keeps pushing me. Yeah, I have taken time to break out of that mold, but that effort is yours. See, the master can only point out to you. He can show you the way, he can show you the method, how to do it, but doing is in your hands. That is what Bhagavad Gita teaches, where Lord Shri Krishna says, lift your bow and arrow and shoot. If you don't do, nobody else can do it for you. And this is the truth. So today, please, goodness, you have to develop within yourself. Nobody can give this from outside. Goodness has to come from within you. Love has to come from within yourself. You cannot just, be a hypocrite and say, oh, I am good. For the momentary time, for the momentary sake, you want to just act like you're good and then you will be a mean person with it. No, that is not. You're not truthful. Then you're a hypocrite. Hypocrisy only works in the material world, not in the spiritual world. And even in material world, you're not supposed to be a hypocrite, but you have to be your true self, your good self. Being your good self means you have to be genuine, genuinely loving, genuinely kind, compassionate, showing goodness to everybody. So please, important, never harbor enmity. And this is the very important lesson which we did yesterday. Please remember it for your lifetime. This is one lesson which is extremely important. You don't want to be associated with anybody and being, you don't want to be coming back again and again with the same person so that you have a karma associated with that individual. So get over it and redeem yourself. They may not remember their past, but the saints never forget it. And what are the difficulties of the devotees? Wherever the devotees may take birth. See, so beautiful. Only the saint, the great master, knows your past, your present, and your future. So, you need to understand if they are saying certain things, they're telling you don't do this. They know why you should not do, because there is a karma associated. When you have been given a warning, please do not do this, and if you go end up doing it, then destiny takes over. They're only trying to avert the calamities which can come about because of your own karma. A similar story will now be related about how the devotees attain success when they keep full trust in the saints at every step and in everything. At the commencement of every piece of work, if God is remembered, He will Himself rid the devotees of their worries, provided, of course, that the devotees themselves are careful in their work. Oh my God, this is very important. I think in the last few chapters, Baba is telling a very important thing, that before you do any good work in your life, you have to get the approval of your master, if the Lord Almighty. And if you do not, given to your own self-conceit, then you are in for a big trouble. Baba is emphasizing in every chapter. I am not saying this. At the commencement of every piece of work, if God is remembered, in the sense, it is you who have to remember the God. If you don't, please, you know what? Welcome to the destiny. Maya will take over your life. He will Himself rid the devotees of their worries. So what does it mean? Whatever the future calamities that is going to come about, which is associated with that work, He will remove everything off. He will make a clean path for you so that you can evolve on the journey. You can go on the journey smoothly. Provided, of course, that the devotees themselves are careful in their work. What does it mean? The provided, of course, that the devotees are themselves careful in their work, which means you are following the path of dharma, righteousness. You are not going anything against the dharma which your Guruji has instructed or the God has instructed. One wrong step and you are in the downfall. Please understand, this is not a joke. Baba is saying that this is a very profound truth. People don't understand. Yesterday my Krishna Guruji was giving a very, very profound lesson. In that he says, you know, how does karma come about? He was talking about Valmiki's story. And what he, before he became Valmiki, he was called Valya Kolya. And you have to go listen to my Krishna Guruji's Das Bodh Satsang. And in that he has very nicely explained. He just gave a simple example. You know, I might be an inspector in a police station who is not taking bribes. But I can give a reason that my superior wants it, so I am forced to do it. But please understand, if you are going to do that action, even though you say it is not, I am not responsible because my superior wants it, but you're still part of that karma. Though you think we all give this, no, I did not want to do it, but somebody wants it. So he gave examples of many industries, like in the entertainment industry about the casting couch, or in a corporate industries where, you know, someone will say, oh, my boss wants me to do this, otherwise I will not get my promotion, or I will not get my increment, my salary, whatever that is. But why should you go that path? Are you not the one who's encouraging that? If you can put your foot down and say, I am not going to do this, I don't want a job, a credit, whatever, the growth, the designation, the promotion, or the money in that manner, then don't you think that God Himself will give it to you at the right time? So what makes you think that this is why you have to go do something? That is not about telling, oh, this is how the system works. It is about who you are encouraging the system to work in that manner. Why can't you put your foot down and say, no, I will not follow an unrighteous path? And when you stop going into such treacherous path, then don't you think God will be on your side and He will open up the path for your own journey and your own success? Success will come at the right time. The God is the one who will grant it for you. Why are you running after success or failure thinking that that is what you have to do, but following the unrighteous path? So please don't. And you should go listen to this satsang. I'm not going to start that story here because my Krishna Guruji has given a very in-depth lesson on that particular story, on Valmiki's life story, please go listen to it and understand what karma means, how this comes about. And that this is a very important verse in relation to that. He says, he will himself rid the devotees of their worries, provided of course that the devotees themselves are careful in their work. So you don't go follow the unrighteous path, you are following only the righteous path. When you stand up for dharma, please know that God is always on you. And in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna has said to Arjuna, where there is Krishna and Lord Shri Krishna and Arjuna, there is always victory, righteousness, grandeur, glory, goodness and well-being in this world. What does that mean? Say, if you follow the righteous path, God is always on your side and no calamity shall befall you. And what happens if you are not going to take his permission, if you are not going to take his blessing and come and say when you have a problem, Guruji, now please help me. Why should Guruji help you? Sir, you did not ask him. You didn't take anyone of his permission. This is a normal human tendency. If you don't do that, then why should the Guruji save you? Please ask this question to yourself. And with what face you want to come and stand in front of him. So this is what is very important. This goes for everybody. It is not to one individual or anybody who is not doing it or have done it, but it is a reminder. It is a warning telling you in the future or for whatever work that you are going to commence, always take the permission of the Divine Lord Almighty. Get their blessings before you journey on any path in your life. And always walk the righteous path. This is a very, very important lesson. Please understand, we are in Kali Yuga. It is very easy to fall, but it's very difficult to rise above. So don't get into any karma with anybody. And then don't get stuck with your destiny for rest of your life. Not just this life, and for many more lives of yours. He who makes a firm resolve that the karma alone is mine, while the fruit is given by Hari Guru, who is all powerful, the work of such a one will be accomplished successfully. Absolutely. This is the truth. And this is exactly again what Lord Shri Krishna is teaching. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Uddhav Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the one lesson time and again he teaches. He says, he who makes a firm resolve that the karma alone is mine. What does it mean? That doing my job is in my hands. Whatever that comes naturally in my path, I have to do the job. Okay, doing alone is must, but while the fruit is given by Lord Hari Guru. Why is Hari Guru? Why can't it be just Guru or Guru Hari? No, Hari Guru. What does it mean? The God Almighty is the Guru himself. Guru Sakshat Parat Brahma. Don't ever forget, the real master is not just the Guru, he's God himself. So the results, whatever the fruit he has to offer to you or bestow upon you is in his hands. The fruit of that karma is never in your hands. So don't even bother whether you succeed, whether you fail. Why are you worried? Just do your job and keep progressing ahead. That is the most important thing to do. Who is all powerful, the work of such a one will be accomplished successfully. So when you have surrendered in this manner to your Hari and Guru, that time the work will automatically be accomplished successfully. Whatever he has to bestow upon you, he will bestow upon you. So don't worry about it. And whatever the karma associated with that is no longer yours. It is his responsibility. He absolves you of all the karma. This is the profound truth you need to understand. Saints appear to be stern to begin with, yet they have an unselfish love. Oh my God, this is very, very, very true. Only one should have patience and courage in one's heart, and they will work for your weal in the end. This is one thing that I will stand up for my Krishna Guruji. This is how my Guruji is. You know what? Saints appear to be stern to begin with. Yeah, they want to be a little tough. They're actually not. They're very soft, their heart is like a child, very innocent, it's full of love. You can only find love in them. There is no other being like this on this entire planet Earth. My Krishna Guruji is this. He appears to be stern with me. You know why? He wants me to be perfect. His aspiration is that I become like him. I have to be like him. He'll always say, there is no difference between you and me, but I want you to get to that highest perfection, just like me. You keep saying, you call yourself Shri Krishna, Shri of Krishna. When you say that, I need you to become that. To become that, he trains me. He's always, correcting me. Why? Because I have to attain that perfection. as per his will. That is what he cares about, and that is why he appears to be stern. But on the contrary, he's such a sweet being. He's so much full of love. He's ever compassionate. There is no words that can describe how great he is. Nobody can do this except the Guruji, the great master. You need to understand. Value what you have, because once nobody can ever get this opportunity. So learn when he's there and evolve on your path. Don't waste your time. Have that courage in your heart. You know why? Yeah, they're going to appear tough. They're going to say all sorts of things. You don't get your ego, but learn. Please understand, even when they scold you, that is blessing. When my Krishna Guruji says anything to me, I know it is only a blessing. It is progress for me. I will never tell him that, please don't say. And on the contrary, I tell him, don't praise me. The moment he praises, I will fall down because ego will come. I don't want any praise from him. But when he says, no, you're not done this right, you're doing this wrong, every single day when he points out to me, I know I am progressing. That is the highest blessing that you can ever get from your Guruji. Please remember this. Yet they have an unselfish love. Of course, they don't have any selfish love. They're not doing for a selfish motivation. They don't have any hidden agenda. They are doing unselflessly, they serve. Unselfishness is what you can find in them. Only one should have patience and courage. That is why Baba teaches Shraddha and Saburi. There are no other things. All you need to have is Shraddha and Saburi. But here it says Shraddha, Saburi and courage in one's heart, and they will work for your will in the end. Of course, when you have this courage and strength that whatever your Guruji is doing is for your good alone, please understand, they will work till the end, in the end, for your will alone. They strive for that so that you cross over this material worldly existence and attain God realization. That is what they care about. That you should attain the highest spiritual will while they are on this planet earth, and make them proud of being your Guru. When in saintly company, suffering resulting from another's curse or one's own misfortune, and similarly attachment and affections based in self-interest, they will all disappear instantly. Hence, one should bow humbly at their feet. Oh my God, this is so profound. Well, let me reread this again. We'll understand slowly. When in saintly company, suffering resulting from another's curse or one's own misfortune. When you are in the company of such great masters, somebody could have cursed you, or you might have had your own misfortunes, whatever that might be. And similarly, attachment and affections to your family, to your mother, father, brother, sister, friend, you name it, everybody in this world. And based on self-interest, it is your interest. It is not somebody else's interest. Based on your own self-interest, all that will disappear. But first, for that to disappear, you have to surrender unto them. You have to become the clay in their hands. It doesn't happen so easily. My Krishna Guruji yesterday also said that, I have stopped telling people anymore, don't do this. I only subtly say, because if they want to go and get into their own gutter because of their own karma, please let them go ahead. And he gave example of how Lord Shri Ram and even Lord Shri Krishna, if he had to suffer for the bodily karma, that prarabdha karma, and the God themselves have to accept it. So what about we mortal human beings? You think anybody is exempted from karma? Nobody. So what makes you think you are somebody great and you have some Guru Seva just by doing a little bit of Guru Seva? That means you have attained some spiritual will? No. It stands right there. That is what is mentioned here. The only way it will disappear is when you bow humbly into their lotus feet. What does humbly mean? You have to surrender from your within, little innermost being. I have seen people, they will commit whatever error they want to, but they will not have this much of iota of goodness to say sorry to my Guruji or to those people. They think saying sorry is a big deal for them. From their mouth, the word forgive me, sorry doesn't come in. And once there's a very beautiful, the late Riyananda Baba in Hyderabad, in Kamareddy. So when we went once with my Guruji, And during the time, he taught a very profound lesson as to how you should ask forgiveness. When you, from your innermost heart, from your innermost being, when you sincerely regret and repent and feel, I am sorry for what I've done, that is the time when that sorry reaches the divine. Even if you don't open your mouth and say, but not when you don't feel an iota of thing within you and trying to say, give just a lip service for the heck of it to get out of that situation, trying to say sorry. It doesn't work. That day I understood this very important lesson. Whenever I have committed this mistake, yes, when I in that moment of ego and anger, you're not going to say sorry. But when you feel from your innermost being, yes, you're actually done something wrong, and when you say sorry, that is when the God accepts that that sorry, and he forgives you. That is a very important thing. Today we think saying sorry is a big deal. People don't have the goodness to even say sorry. And you know what my Krishna Guruji teaches? He says, when you say sorry, you don't become small. On the contrary, you rise in my eyes. What is the harm in saying sorry and ending something? There is nothing wrong. Even if you think you have not done a mistake, he'll teach me. Just say sorry. Humor people, doesn't matter. You are not going to become small. On the contrary, you'll always rise in my eyes. That is what spirituality teaches. That is what this goodness teaches. And here there are people who will even have come the greatest of the sins and yet will not open their mouth and say sorry. They will not even feel sorry about what they have done. So, when in saintly company, suffering resulting from another's curse or one's own misfortune, and similarly attachment and affections based in self-interest, it is your own motivation, hidden agenda, ulterior motives. When you have all of this, they all disappear instantly. Hence, one should bow humbly at the lotus feet of your master. Only when you surrender, when you have the Guru Bhakti, can all of this happen. And understand why it is always important to keep the company of the holy, the sages and the saints, not material worldly people. You can keep anybody's company, then you will exactly become like the gutter person, not holy. The only way to become holy and divine is when you have the company of the sages and the saints. With humility and without conceit, one should surrender to the saints and tell them with a prayer one's innermost secret wish, and they will bring to the mind great satisfaction. See, if you have something inside of your heart, what is being mentioned here? With humility and without conceit. Don't have this self-conceit. Please understand, your mind is always full of deceit and conceit. We should not have this. Without that, one should surrender to the saints and tell them with a prayer. You have to always offer prayer to them. One's innermost secret wish, whatever that you have, your innermost wish, when you tell it to them, they will bring to the mind great satisfaction. It will bring to the mind the great satisfaction, and the sages themselves, the Guru, will make it happen at the right time. He doesn't deny anybody. I think Baba has very beautifully explained in one of the lessons when we did. He says he fulfills everybody's desires. Whether it is the spiritual wheel, yes, when it is a spiritual wheel, he is more welcoming. Definitely, that is the one thing that all the Gurus, wait that their students, their disciple should ask, and they should focus on that. Attaining the spiritual wheel is what they care about. But even when it is otherwise, when it is the disciples' desires, they are always ever ready to fulfill it for them. Those who doubt the words of saints, being misled by their ego, born of scant knowledge, they may first suffer loss, but once they keep full trust, they benefit in the end. Please understand, this is the truth. The Gurus, the great gods, the God Almighty, doesn't care whether you're a sinner or whether you're a good being, whether you're an evil person or whether you're the most holiest person. Everybody is the same to them, and this verse says it all. Those who doubt the words of the saints, even when you doubt the words of the saints, being misled by your ego and scant knowledge. What does it mean? Limited knowledge or no knowledge at all. And you think you know too much. That is what happens. When you meet the great masters, people come with an attitude thinking, oh, I know too much. I know what it is. I have this knowledge. I have read Vedas. I have read Shadas. I by hearted the verses, the hymns in Bhagavad Gita. I can just rattle off. With all that ego you can come with scant knowledge. Even when you are misled by your ego and scant knowledge, you might in the beginning suffer loss, but at once they keep the full trust. But even after that, if you have full trust in the Guru, then you will benefit in the end. So what does it teaches? That the moral of this lesson is that the Guru still care about your well-being and then grant you the good from every possible way. They are not mean like you. They don't have any hidden agenda. On the contrary, they are always there saying Tatastu. No matter what you ask, it will be granted. And this is another very powerful lesson. Please understand. Never go ask anything bad, because the God only, it's not them who says Tatastu. The Siddhis around them are saying Tatastu. So even if you say bad, that bad also will come to happen. So be very careful what your thoughts are and what you're asking. And this is a very powerful lesson which my Krishna Guruji has said. Don't ask anything bad, because even that is granted. And that was when it really hit me hard. Oh my God, that means people are going some bad things. We go and ask, somebody should fall down, somebody shouldn't rise above in their career. So we ask such bad things also, right? But please understand, in the earlier verse it is mentioned, even when you have such curses, it will redeem when you have faith, when you have surrendered unto the Guru. But if you don't, then it is you're the one who's going to suffer that calamity. Whether with a pure heart or with deceit, he who follows a true saint will be liberated in the end. Such is the inconceivable power of the saints. Oh my God, see here. This is who God is. This is who a real master is. Whether with a pure heart or with a deceit. Whether you follow him with a pure heart or you are deceit. That is why I said you can be good or you can be bad. It doesn't matter. So even if you follow him for a little while, he who follows a true saint, if you follow the true saint, you will be liberated. He grants liberation to whether he's an evil person or he's a good person. There is no criteria in the saint's world. They only see that, okay, whether you follow him or not. If you follow him, you're still going to reap the benefits of it. In the end, such is the inconceivable power of these great saints. And this is only of the true saints, not all the fake gurus in this world who you go and get carried away with. Please go. There are a lot of millions of gurus who have made conglomerates, and please go follow them. You will get nice benefits in your life. Listen attentively now to an instructive story in this context. The listeners will be filled with joy, and even the narrator will be enthused in the narration of the tale. Listen to the experiences of a lawyer from Akkalkot, whose name was Saptanekar. It will please your heart. When he was studying hard day and night for law, he met another student, Shirdi, and they began exchanging notes about each other's studies. Some others studying with them came there too, and they all sat together in that same room and began asking questions to each other to test how much they had studied. It was to see who makes a mistake and where, whose answer comes correct, etc., so as to clear any doubts and gain some peace of mind. Shirdi's answers came all wrong. In the end, all the students said, how will he pass the examination? All his study is incomplete. Though they derided him thus, Shirdi had full faith that whether the study was complete or incomplete, when the time comes, I will pass. See, this is the faith. Even if I have not studied, my Sai Baba is there to pass me. Then why should I worry? On hearing these words, Saptanekar was surprised, and taking Shirdi aside, he began asking him, who is this Sai Baba, whose virtues you praise so much and whom you trust so completely? And where does he live? In reply, Shirdi then described the greatness of Sai Baba and quite frankly told of the state of his absolute faith in him. In Shirdi village, in the well-known Nagar district, a fakir lives in a mosque who is a very famous and virtuous man. There are many saints in different places, but unless you have accumulated abundant merit, the good fortune of meeting them will not befall, however hard you try. Absolutely. Till the right moment is not there, you cannot meet the great masters. It is only at the right time, with the will of the divine alone, can you come to him, not otherwise. And most important, what? Accumulated abundant merit. You need to have that merit, some merit from your past life. That is when you can come and meet this holy Guru, the great Guru, the real master, not otherwise. However, great my efforts this year, I am going to fail in the examination. But next year, I will most certainly pass, effortlessly. This is his assurance to me, and I have full trust in him. His words will never be untrue. This I have firmly resolved. Absolutely. This is exactly the truth. My own example. 3 times I actually, when I just met my Guruji in 2009, I wanted to give a certificate, the PMP test. It's a certification. It's an examination which I had to take. So I told him I've already flunked twice and I don't know what's going to happen. So he said, okay, go try. And he didn't tell me whether I was going to pass, fail, nothing. So he just said, because I wanted to, go and give the test. I was in a hurry. I wanted to get that certification. And when I finished the test, I remember having called him right from there. I told him, you know what, I flunked again 3 times and I lost a lot of money. So my Guruji at the time said to me, I'm sure today you don't have faith in me, but someday you will trust me. So don't bother at this moment. I know you feel let down. These were his words. I still remember. I was crying. I was saying, I know you would feel let down, but just let it be. Don't worry about it so much. Everything will be fine. His words didn't make sense at that time, but today it makes a lot of sense. Because what has to come, when it has to come, it will come on its own way. We don't have to hurry. We don't have to run about. We don't have to have that, that urgency to become somebody great in this world, have that name, fame, recognition, all those degrees and all those number of certification. It doesn't matter. All that is material worldly existence. The real certificate is when I attain my spiritual being, when my Guruji is pleased of me living his lessons taught in this world. That is my examination. That is the day I would have passed this. I would have gotten that certification. So that is to me today. At that moment in time, I didn't feel good about it. So yes, the journey has been 12 plus years now. So I've gone through that journey. Today I understand. It doesn't matter. So if you have to do something, you can do. But like it's most important, like he said, he trusts Baba. He said, Baba said, this year I'm going to fail the exam, but next year I will pass effortlessly. So having that faith and conviction in the words of your Guruji is extremely important. And just go ahead. It's okay. Failure doesn't mean anything. It's fine. You have to go, study again, study hard and give one more test. And okay, I have this phobia, the fear of examinations. And I'll tell you, this is the most stupidest thing. I would have studied really hard. And during my exam, just 3 days before the exam, I'll get exam fever. It's just a fear. Why do I need to fear? Fear of I have to get good marks. I have to get first class. That fear of, not getting that was too strong in me. And during my BCom examination, the final examinations, I knew the answers. But you know what? Just because of the fear, my mind would blank me at that time. And I wouldn't know what to write. I would just go blank. And this is it has happened a few times, and then I understood it is only the fear that I had to overcome. Why should I be afraid of giving an examination in life? What is the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is I can fail. So what? I can always give another exam. I can work hard. I can study and go on. But who's the limitation? The limitation is my own mind. Why? Because I was always told that getting first rank, getting 100 out of 100 is what is the criteria. That is the average middle class parental mentality. His body's parents believe that is how we have to study. Study is not to get numbers. Study because you have to study the subject. And this is what my Krishna Guruji teaches. It is about studying the subject with love. When you do anything with love, then you will excel in that. It is about you have to excel. And most important that today our education system doesn't teach us is that application of what we have studied is not happening. So degree is only there because I want to get a good job. So he'll say, don't study because you want to you want that certification or the degrees so that you can get a good job. That is not going to give you anything in life. Study because you truly love the subject and you want to understand it in deep. And study because you want to take that knowledge and apply or make use of it in your life for the benefit, not just for yourself, for the entire universe, for this well-being of the humankind. That is why you should study. And he gave a very nice example of Elon Musk. How does Elon Musk study? You know what? When he want to start a company called SpaceX, the first thing he does is he goes and studies all the manuals about the space. And then he moves to LA. And there why did he move to LA? Because that is where all the space exploration companies were there, the experts were there, and he wanted to, associate with everybody and get that knowledge from the experts. So there is a method to learn as well. If you want to do something, first gain knowledge. Without knowledge, you cannot do anything. And that is how you have to learn. So study because you love studying, not because you want to get good grades, not because you have to come, oh, I want a first class degree so that I can get a good job or I can get a good husband. That is another criteria. I don't know what the story is in current times, because current times nobody cares about who you marry, how you marry. At least during my days, or even before that, it has been the history where a woman wants to get educated so she gets a very good husband. I just simply cannot understand these things. But these are the teachings which my Guruji has given to me. Today he's opened up my eyes to a lot of things. How do you look at the life in a different perspective and not live in a cocoon, somebody's egoistic ways of life, who have made the society into what it is today. So we have to break these norms and come out of it. So be the change you want to see in the world. Study because you love to study, not because you want to get grades. That is a very important thing that I learned in my own life. So, this is his assurance to me, and I have full trust in him. His words will never be untrue. This I have firmly resolved. It will be no wonder at all when I pass not only this examination, but even the examination after this. Saptanekar had no doubt that these words were vain and ridiculous. His mind was filled with doubts. How then would he believe such an utterance? However, Shevade then went away from there. But listen to what happened thereafter. When some time had passed, Shevade's words came true as proved by experience. To the great astonishment of Saptanekar, Shevade passed both the exams. 10 years passed after this, and misfortune befell Saptanekar suddenly, causing him great distress and agitation. He became sad, dispirited. His one and only son died of diphtheria in the year 1913. He became absolutely disgusted with worldly life. So he set out on a pilgrimage to all the holy places like Pandharpur, Gangapur and the like. But peace of mind eluded him. He then began reading Vedanta. Some time passed in this way. As he hopefully waited to gain some peace of mind, he suddenly remembered Shevade's account. He recalled Shevade's determination and his faith in Sai Baba. He now felt that he should also go for Baba's darshan. He wished for that saint's darshan. In the year 1913, he decided to go to Shirdi and set out to go with his brother. Really, it was Sai himself who had called him to himself to worship his feet. Recollection of Shevade's story being just an excuse. Listen to this attentively. Taking his younger brother, Pandit Rao, with him, Saptanekar set out with his family to go to Shirdi for the saint's darshan. They both came there and went for Shri's darshan at once. They had darshan from a distance, but felt satisfied in their hearts. As their eyes met Baba's from a distance, they quickly approached him, and with folded hands, both stood waiting in front of Baba. Both prostrated before Baba with great humility and with a pure loving heart, offered a coconut at Sai's feet. As Saptanekar offered the coconut at the feet of Samarth, Baba turned him away scornfully with the words, "Get out." Saptanekar got worried as to why Baba got so angry and said to himself, "I must ask the meaning of this to someone who knows Baba well." He who should have been delighted with the darshan moved backwards with a start at these words and sat down sad and worried with eyes downcast. Whom should one approach now? To which devotee should I ask as to the significance in Baba's words? Whom should I ask what is in Baba's mind? On learning of this wish of his, someone suggested the name of Bala Shimpi Tailor for the satisfaction of his query. So he searched for Bala's place. Saptanekar told him all that had taken place and said, "Baba turned me away with harsh words." At least if you come with me, I may get his darshan in peace and he may bestow his grace upon on us without getting angry. Bala agreed to this and sorry, Sapatnekar was relieved of his anxiety. He got Baba's photo purchased and set out to have Baba's darshan. Bala Shimpi accompanied him. Taking the photo in his own hand, Bala gave it to Baba and prayed. What is this picture? Oh God. Baba looked at it and replied, this is a photo of his friend, pointing his finger to Sapatnekar. So, saying, Baba smiled. Others smiled too. Baba, what is the meaning of this? Bala asked Baba. At once, Bala said to Sapatnekar, take darshan, be quick. But as he made obeisance, he heard the words, get out. Oh, that same old get out pursues me still. Now, what other way should I follow? This was Sapatnekar's great puzzle. And as they both stood waiting before Baba with folded hands, at last Baba commanded them, go away from here at once. O Swami Samarth, your command can never be disobeyed by anyone. Then what to say of us, the poor lowly creatures? Now, in this instant, we go away. Having heard that you are most generous, we came to have darshan. But we were welcomed only with the words, get out. What this mystery is, we know not. But do look upon us kindly and give us your blessings, that we may have your darshan soon again. Such was the assurance they asked for. Is there such a jnani who will know what is in Baba's mind? But they obeyed the command and returned to their own place. Such was their first darshan of Baba, which made them both very sad. They went back to their village without the least delay. One more year passed by, and yet his mind had not steadied. Again he went to Gangapur, but the agitation in his mind grew. Sapatnekar then went to Madhegaon for rest. At last he decided to go to Holy Kashi. When only 2 days remained to leave for Kashi, his wife had a vision and the journey to Kashi was stayed. I will relate the novel way in which this miracle of the vision took place. Be attentive as you listen to these Leelas of Sai. While his wife was asleep on the bed, in her dream, she saw herself going to the well of Lakad Shah with a pitcher. There at the foot of a neem tree, a fakir who had a piece of cloth wrapped round his head came near me, she said. In a tender voice, the fakir said, why do you toil so needlessly, my child? I will fill up your pitcher fully with pure clean water. I was frightened of the fakir and taking up the empty pitcher, made my way back homewards, with the fakir following behind me. As I saw this dream, I woke up and opened my eyes. When Sapatnekar heard the dream that his wife narrated, he decided to go to Shirdi. Immediately, they both set out, reaching Shirdi the next day. On arriving, they at once went to the mosque. Baba had gone to Lendi at that time. We are at the end of the hour, so I will stop here. We will continue the story tomorrow. Thank you for joining Sai Satcharita Parayan. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson and wishing you all a very happy Guruvar. Have a wonderful Thursday. Thank you again. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shri Pada Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Guru Nathanataya Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru.